Here's Paul Jones. More importantly, no disrespect, there's Chris
Bosh.
Chris, haven't talked to you in a little while. Anything interesting happened to you over the summer?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much at all. It's been boring.
How's the media circus treating it?
It's going well. I think it's a lot of things coming from everywhere, but all in all, I think it's been a good experience. The exposure's been great, and life has just changed a little bit, but I think it's all for the best, and I've just been having fun with it.
Chris, a lot of notoriety. It's like our American brethren in the media have suddenly discovered you, ringing the bell at the stock exchange, red carpet at the ESPYs. How do you, attest for this notoriety? Is it what's happened with you, or is it the association with LeBron?
Well, I think it's mostly because of the situation down in Miami with LeBron and Dwayne and how big that's become, and a little bit of me. I think of myself as a decent player, so everything has gone pretty well. I know the attention has happened just because it's been magnified a lot more because of the team that we have now down in Miami.
Much has been made about LeBron's 1 hour special, The Decision. 2 questions. Did you know what his decision was when he came on TV? And secondly, what did you think of the way it was all presented?
Well, I didn't know his decision coming in. I was kind of anxiously watching myself. But, they had a vision. Those guys had a vision, and, they wanted to do it. I mean, if people were really going to respond so negatively to it, I think the best thing to do is not watch it. But a lot of people watched it. I think it was relevant. Everybody's going to have their own opinion about how it was handled and what he should have, would have, and could have done. But, the decision was the decision. It was everybody watched it. I know I watched it. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, how could you not? Chris,
how could you not, man?
You were quoted, if you're a basketball fan you're watching, you were quoted in the Miami Herald a couple days back, talking about Toronto and being different. You were here for 7 years, and Canadians and Torontonians have a little bit of a complex at times. Maybe that's the best word. Explain what you meant, because the written word can be different from what's said when you say Toronto was, quote, different.
Toronto is different. I think a lot of people can know that. I mean, for one, it's a different country. If you don't know that you're in a different country when you land, then something is wrong with your senses. Now, that's not to say that Toronto is not a great metropolitan city. It is a fantastic city, and that doesn't go against what I had in those 7 years. I enjoyed Toronto every minute that I was there. I know that it was different. Even now, if you go now, it's different. It's a different city. I mean, come on. If you're driving down the freeway and you see the speed limit is 40 kilometers and you can't tell that something's different, then, people have to think about that.
So people shouldn't interpret different.
I knew that I was in a different way.
People shouldn't interpret different as
meaning
bad.
No,
right.
Different is not bad. I'm different. That doesn't make me bad.
I've heard on several occasions where a lot of NBA players say that Toronto is their favorite road city, favorite city to visit. But true or false, is it a city that's tough to attract players to play and live in?
It has been tough. It's not tough to live. If you can get through the cold, and it's cold in Chicago, New York, and a lot of other places. It's cold, but no, it's not a difficult place to live in. It has been, when in my time, it was a little bit difficult to attract players. I mean, I think that's been known throughout, the past years, because we tried to get some guys, and at the end of the day, they chose somewhere else, even though we were a good team at the time.
Chris, what does the NBA have to do to, for lack of a better term, help Toronto, promote Toronto? Because it's a great city. A lot of people know it's a great city. Players know that, but there are still some myths, especially in the media in the U.S. about Toronto. How does the league help overcome that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think people just have to pay attention to it. It's with the internet and everything, the world is getting smaller, but it was always different playing. I think back in 06 or 07, we were the third best team in the Eastern Conference. The next year, we never really got on any TV games. And I mean, for me, everybody doesn't have the NBA package with my family. So, that's all I ever wanted to do was play on TNT or ESPN in front of my family and get that national exposure. I think at the time we deserved it, but, decisions are made in other front offices, and I guess they do things for a reason, but, that's just the way it is. But as far as the league actually doing something, I'm not sure what can be done, but I know one thing is that, everybody in Canada really flocks to the team because the games are shown all over Canada. And, that I think that's a very fantastic thing, but at the same time, you want to be seen in the States as well because, most players in the NBA are from the United States.
Throughout the past year, you kept it very close to your vest what you were going to do. I'm sure that you didn't know until a certain point. Can you tell us when you knew your decision, not necessarily to go to Miami, but that you weren't going to stay in Toronto?
Well, I think it happened probably down to the last minute. Everybody thinks he was gone as soon as the season was over. That was a tough decision to make. That's one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life because I'm stepping into the unknown. Now, as different as Toronto may be, as different as another country is, it was still home for me. I had been there for 7 years. And that didn't make it any easier than it was, than it is at all. It wasn't easy at all. I sat for many days, nights. That's all I thought about, during the process. That was all that was on my mind was, what am I going to do? Should I stay? Should I go? What's happening? Looking at every situation time and time again. And, it was a little stressful, but, I made the best out of it.